Where is it? Where's my introduction for a co-host? Oh, sorry, man. I was dancing. Hey, what is up,
nice.
Steve? What is up going
What's
on?
up? How are you doing, Jared?
Hey, man,
I appreciate you having me on.
I'm great. Yeah, I'm great, man. I'm good, man. I'm so happy to have you on. Man, it's good to have somebody who can bring some experience as a transplant recipient, and of course, as a person who has faith, and I'm a believer. I always welcome Christians who have faith, and I'm glad to have you on. But if you would just give our followers just a brief introduction, all right, and let them kind of introduce yourself, would you please?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I love that intro. I've never been made to feel like a rock star more than I was just then.
Nice.
But no, just like Jared said, I am a kidney transplant recipient. I was on dialysis for about 2 years before I found my match, and my match just happened to be my wife, Heather. And she donated her kidney to me on September 28th, 2017. And I've got to tell you, it's been the greatest gift in the world.
Awesome. Man, thank you. I'm glad to have you on. It's very special to have somebody who has been through Andre's shoes, can relate and give him some support. So, man, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna show. I've got Lisa Baxter watching. Thanks for watching, Lisa. And we've got Chris. Your buddy Chris is watching. Thanks for watching, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
OMG, it's Steve
He's
Winfrey.
showing too much love. Thanks, Chris.
Sharing is caring. Thanks for sharing. Lisa, thank you. She's a kidney transplant recipient. She was on dialysis for 12 years, and she has PKD. So, all right, let's hit this out of the ballpark. I'm going to bring on our special guest. All right, we're going to bring on, as you all know, because I've promoted the show with a thumbnail. My thumbnail has red and blue, all right, to match the New York Giants colors. So I'm going to bring on, all right, a kidney warrior, Andre Foster, all right, all the way from Henderson, North Carolina, all right, a warrior through and through. And I'm going to give him, again, a very special welcome. All right, here we go, a very special guest intro. Boom! All right, here we go. Andre, hey, man.
I like that intro. I like that.
All right, man. Let's get this going. Man, thank you for coming on. So hyped to have you on. Bring some
Glad to be here.
East Coast vibe, man. I love it. All right, so man, I got introduced to you by my twin brother, my twin brother Jeff, on Facebook. His name's Jeffrey A. Brown, and he said, hey, you got to interview this guy, and I'm happy to have you on. I know a little bit about you because I see his posts. He's so creative. He and I go back and forth, and we try to outmatch each other with graphics and videos, and stuff. And we have a lot of sibling rivalry that way, but a competition, right? But please spend a moment and introduce yourself. My even though I got a video intro introducing you, and I've said you're from Henderson, North Carolina, I'd like to have you kind of introduce yourself in the beginning, and then we'll kind of roll from there. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, no problem at all. My name is Andre Foster. I'm 50 years old, and I like long walks in the park now.
Nice. Absolutely.
I've been a diabetic for about 25 years now, and
right.
you know, throughout that time, with dealing with other health issues and everything, ended up having my kidneys kind of deteriorating, and right now I'm looking for that living kidney donor, or that kidney donor that could possibly save my life.
Nice. All right, man. So you've been on dialysis or diabetes for 25 years. You've been a diabetic.
Yes. And I've been on dialysis. I've been doing dialysis for I'd say probably about since 2012.
All right.
About 2012, yeah.
All right, man. So as Steve may already know, man, dialysis can take a toll, brother. So hats off to you. That's not an easy thing. So man, do you do home hemo, or do you go to in-center for dialysis? Maybe peritoneal?
I was doing the hemodialysis at the center, and there, boy, that 5.5 hours is it takes a toll on you, being in one position in one spot for that long, and it took a lot of time out of my day, doing hemodialysis, going to the center. So I wanted to have more time to work out my day, to be able to go to work and take care of my day to day, and have time to enjoy. So I was a candidate for the peritoneal dialysis.
Okay.
So I do peritoneal dialysis at home.
Oh, all right. So you do PD right now. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And what made you feel as though that was going to be the best choice for you over the other options?
Taking the advice from my doctors as well. They did say that would be good for me. I took that advice, and I looked up on it, and did a little research on peritoneal dialysis and the treatments, and I did see that was a good match for me to be able to do peritoneal dialysis.
All right, I like that.
Andre, listening. First of all, I want to say this. You said you started dialysis in 2012, which means, if my math is correct, it may not be, you're in your 8th year of dialysis.
Correct.
And I've got to tell you, knowing how bad dialysis can be on the body, the fact that you just radiate positivity, man. I mean, like as soon as I met you, you were smiling and you're radiating positivity right now. I think that is absolutely remarkable. And
Amen.
There was times when I was in dialysis that there was no way I was going to be able to smile coming out of that. So I really admire how positive you are. And also, to do PD, you have to be extremely disciplined. And that goes also to your character as well, as how disciplined you are. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to really be disciplined. And, as far as taking care of the sterile environment on your own, as opposed to staff taking care of that for you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Andre, so Tamika had a question. You had said when you were in center that it was about 5.5 hours. So can you give us an idea why maybe it went 5.5 hours on an average, or did they explain to you why maybe she's inferring that maybe that was a little long?
Yes, that it seemed like a little long to me too. But
Yeah.
you know, at first, when I first started dialysis, I was a little hard-headed, and I wasn't doing exactly what I should have been doing,
All
as
right.
far as keeping my phosphorus down and things like that. So it didn't exactly start at that time, but it actually went up to that 5.5 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you do the night cycler PD, or do you do that currently?
I currently do the night cycler now, yes.
All right. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And that treatment is actually 9 hours.
All right.
But it's good because
Oh wow.
you're doing it at night and you're in bed.
Okay,
You're in
yeah.
bed in a sleep. So you're not taking away from any of your day or your daily activities or anything like that.
I can see how that'd be a good trade-off. Sure, it's an advantage where you've got some freedom right there, where you're not necessarily having to go and do something out of your day and set time aside during the day. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how often do maybe you get alerts or notifications that maybe something's off? Do you get do you ever get woken up where maybe there's something that's a little off, maybe your levels or something that you need to change?
Well, we do have alarms on those machines. Like mostly it's if your patient line is blocked or your flow is too low or something. But mainly that's probably in anticipation to the position that you're laying in.
Okay.
So usually if an alarm goes off, I'll just turn to the left or turn to the right, and it'll clear up.
Sounds like a dance.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. All right. All right. Gotcha. All right. So Tamika was also asking what was your BFR? Do you know what she means by that?
I don't remember that right off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
All right. All right. So Audrey's asking, yours is 7 days a week. Do you do PD every day?
I do the cycler every night.
All right. All right. Okay.
It's every night.
All right, man. So so you've got the catheter, right? And you're able to make sure everything's connected. And do you do it yourself, or do you ever have like a loved one that knows how to do it as well, like a significant other or something?
Yes, my fiance, she does know how to do it because she had to go through the training as well.
Yeah.
So she knows what to do, if I was unable to do it myself. But majority of the time I do it myself. It's not hard at all.
Hey, my twin brother is watching momentarily. He's in Abu Dhabi, and so it's probably really early in the morning. But hey, thanks for watching, Jeff. He's giving you some love. We will lift you up and support you 100. Nice. Thanks for watching, Jeff.
All right.
So, Steve, did you ever have any options, or did you ever think about maybe peritoneal or home dialysis when you were doing dialysis?
Yeah, and I do want to say I apologize. I'm having some bad technical difficulties on my end.
No
I
worries.
can't actually see you or Andre, but I can hear.
All right.
So I do apologize. But to answer your question, yeah, I started thinking about wanting to do it at home and do PD. But for some reason, with just me personally, being at the clinic, the relationships I had at the clinic with the people around me and even with the nurses, it was such a refreshing relationship. and they did such a great job of making me feel comfortable. I mean, we joked a lot together. We had, they did a great job of keeping my spirits high. And so I just kind of kept rolling with it. I was like, well, I've gotten into this groove. I'm comfortable with it. And that I finally got in there, I didn't want to mix it up too soon after it took me a while to finally get comfortable. So, and plus I was told, because I had a fistula. I had a catheter at first, but then they switched me to the fistula. And and back when I was, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but back when I was diagnosed with diabetes type 1, and so they gave the needle to Heather and said, here, practice doing this because you may have to do this if something were to happen. And so she took the syringe from the nurse's hand and just, boom, just like right into my abdomen, and then took it out. And the nurse looked at her and said, oh, sweetie, you're supposed to push the insulin in. So basically what she did was she stabbed me. And so, which really worried me because I was like, you got a lot of aggression out with that stab. And so I started thinking, do I really want her stabbing me every night?
Right.
But that's.
Wow.
No, she saved my life. I love her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Small things to do, right?
That was her redemption for you. Yeah.
That's right.
So we got some people think that maybe can relate. Maybe they've been stabbed before too. All right. Uh-oh. We got Heather.
Uh-oh.
She's replying.
Oh, my goodness. She's watching. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Thanks for watching, Heather. So, Andre, all right, diabetes, of course, is something that you have along with kidney disease. So, do you think that because you have diabetes that this is making you more aware of your levels and maybe what's going on with whether it's your BUN or your other things that may be going on because you're already looking at your insulin and your everything? Does that make you more aware of your kidney disease, or do you think maybe you're just having to really juggle both and it's still just a juggling act?
It's kind of like a juggling act still, but I do pay close attention to both, as far as, with the diabetes, as far as the dieting and everything. And also, you got to be aware of your diet as well with the, doing a renal diet, so you just got to be careful with everything really. And, I just, try to make sure I keep track of my levels. So when I do go to my doctor's visits, I don't get that stern look from, my doctor. Because if I get that look, I know something's up or something's off,
Right.
So,
just that look.
I try my best to, do better each visit, so it's like a battle. It's like, look, I got to do better this week than I did last month,
Okay. Can we get that look again? I like that. Give me that look again. There we go. I almost feel guilty like I've done something.
Intimidation look.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, has kidney disease slowed you down, like with your, what you do for a living, like making a living or your career? How has that affected, what you do for a living?
No, it really hasn't slowed me down. I had went back to work and because I wasn't working for a while, and I had went back to work. So that, like I said, the doing the PD would be better for me to live a better day-to-day life. That's like how I would feel about it. So no, it hasn't slowed me down. Me and my fiance, we love to go to concerts. We love to go to shows. We love to just be out and about, So that gives us, more time to spend together and go do, enjoyable things and, keep it going, So,
Right.
I try my best to, stay away from the negative aspects of it,
Uh-huh.
although it does trigger the mind sometimes and
Right.
it brings you down, but then you
Yeah.
just put it off and then you just keep on going.
Yes.
I try to keep that smile on my face.
All right. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot.
Does wonders.
Yeah, it does. Any photo, even, even the ugliest mug looks better with a smile, right?
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Come on now. I was talking about me.
No.
No, but
I told you I was self-conscious about people seeing my face, and you still said that.
come on, man. That's not what I was doing. No, but see, Andre, man, you're right. Smiles do help you. Even when you look in the mirror and you see yourself and you're smiling, it just makes, it makes you feel better. Even if you aren't necessarily in a good mood, you can get yourself in a better mood just by smiling. So it is absolutely, a smile always does wonders. Just like Steve said, and so with the smiles, though, sometimes it's not just smiling. Sometimes there are other things that we do to get us in a better mood.
Right.
For me, it's prayer. For me, it's listening to music. For me, it's watching a comedy. Watching a movie. What are some things maybe that you've done to kind of get yourself in a better mood if you've had like a day where maybe it hasn't gone well? Either maybe just it's been one of those days where you're totally fatigued and you feel like a zombie, or maybe you just had a bad, you didn't sleep well or something. What do you do, or how do you get your mind right?
Wow. Well, my fiance, she likes to, keep me in check.
All right.
So she knows my ups and downs, you know. So like I said, when I do feel like down and just the worries start to bother me, or if my levels aren't where they need to be,
Yeah.
I just try to get my focus right and correct it, and just keep it moving. Just try to keep it moving. That's what I try to do. That's all.
I like it. I like it. Bella says right here, before she goes to bed, she'll watch All in the Family or Sanford and Son. I do like comedies. Sitcoms are good.
Yeah. Cooking shows. I love.
There you go. You like cooking shows?
Look,
All right.
what's that? Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
All right.
I've been binge watching all the seasons.
Uh-huh. Nice.
And the thing with when I was in Dallas is and I was going to ask you, Andre, what did you do when you were in center to kind of get through that 5.5 hours? Mine was, I believe, 4. Which I know you explained why times can vary, but mine was for 4 hours, and we had our own TV remotes and our own TVs that we could watch. And so I would either listen to music. That was a big one that would get me through dialysis. But the second one was I'd watch funny TV shows, and that was good for my soul. But at the same time, I can't tell you how many times you have the dialysis center, and it's not a very happy place. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
It's usually typically very quiet, and it would be like that. And then there I would be in the corner, just like cracking up out loud because I'm watching, and I would feel terrible. And the nurse would come over and she'd be like, keep it down a little bit. This isn't exactly I felt so bad because I'm sitting there watching like American Dad or something is on, and I'm cracking up, and it got some smiles to the other people, but it also got me a few looks from the people who were doing their dialysis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good though. I mean, yeah, I mean, even if it may get some looks or stuff, inevitably, even if even if they don't know what you're laughing about, isn't it just contagious that if someone else is laughing, even if you don't know what they're laughing about, you want to laugh. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with
It's
that.
contagious.
It is, yeah, it's definitely contagious. You want to laugh because you want in on the what's funny. You want to know what's funny. Hey, what is he laughing about? Well, let me hear. What's this guy smiling about?
Steve, that same thing had happened to me at the center when I was watching the show, and I was, I just blatantly, I just out loud just laughed. And the gentleman that's next to me, and he's always had a chair next to me all the time. And he looks over and he looks at the nurse and says, "I'll have what he's having."
That's right. Whatever it was you put into that line.
For the rest of the day, I just was cracking up to that, and that was.
Oh yeah, there was many a time that the people around me would question if what they were putting into my line was saline or not.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Yeah. Let's make sure whatever you're putting in his line, I want that too. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, God bless Tanya. Thanks for watching, Tanya. But she's saying,
prayed up.
Yeah, I keep myself prayed up. I love prayer.
That's right.
So great answer. And Chris, he says he likes to take his iPad and he likes to watch movies or just talk to the text. So everybody has a little thing, people like to keep they like to keep themselves busy sometimes, and sometimes that keeps their mind off what may be happening, so it's good to hear, other, various things, because then that way we can kind of come together, you know what I mean? All right. So Lisa Baxter, she says, read, phone, talk to others around me, and then my brother, Jeff, he's saying family unity seems very important. So he's saying that, you've got a great family base, a good support base. That seems to be true.
Absolutely. Yes. That's definitely a good trait to have, that, family support. So you got to have that. I mean, if you don't have that, it's like you're lost. Yeah. But like Steve was saying, you become to build a relationship with the staff at the center when you go to the center. So it's becoming to be like they are your family.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them 3 days a week. Every day on that same time, so you get to know things. You get to know their birthdays. They get to know your birthday. They get to know what you like, and they, get to know, your ups and downs and everything. So
mannerisms, your facial.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, just like a blood family member would know you, they get to know you just the same way. But yes,
because it's very intimate. Yeah.
Yes. That support is definitely a plus.
For real. And it's like being in the trenches with somebody. And then, again, that's exactly why I like to bring on either co-hosts and other people that have been either through what you're going through, Andre, like Steve, or have people, comment, like some people that are commenting tonight on this show, is that, man, it does something when you have Steve here, who's, he's been on dialysis. He went to in-center, and, he knew that it's a roller coaster ride. You've got emotions that are up, down, sometimes way down, and he can tell you exactly how he felt. And there's something to be said about having like-minded people, all right, that know what you're either going through now, or they know because they've gone through it, or they're currently going through it. When people like that come together and you don't feel alone, man, it's something special. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel, Andre, to know that thousands of people are going to watch this show?
Hey, it makes you feel real good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. It's like you know, it betters that chance of me getting that kidney donor or that kidney, or that one person that'll see this broadcast and know and be able to donate that kidney. And it's like just like with you and your brother advocating for us, it's like you got to put forth some of the work. It's like, yes, I'm on the waiting list. I'm on the kidney transplant waiting list. But it's like, I feel like I could do a little more than just sit and wait for, a kidney to come to me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Or a kidney becomes available. In the Bible, it says, faith without works is dead.
Dead. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to put forth the work as well. For something to happen.
Right.
So therefore, that's why, I like to put it out there. I like to put it out on my Facebook page, and my friends will see it, and I tell everyone share. The more that sees it, the more the further it'll go, and possibly it'll land on that heart of a caring and giving person that will, be able to, donate.
Yeah, amen. So Heather's saying right here that so many of her living donor friends say they found their recipient from a plea for a kidney on Facebook. So, it happens, it has happened. In fact, my twin brother and I we helped somebody whom we used to advocate for find a kidney from Facebook. We've done it, and I'm not saying that it happens easily, but it does happen. And the cool thing about it is, I totally agree with you, Andre. I do, because my faith is rooted, and I know that with faith, you do have to put forth action. I totally agree with you. And when you do, though, and you have a large group of people coming together, man, great things can happen. And I'm real excited that we can do this together tonight, and that that many people are watching. So please don't be stingy, people. Let's share this so we can get this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
We've got to reach more people. We've got to reach people that that have never heard this message before. I want to thank Martin for watching. Martin's a follower of Warriors Quest as well as Urban Health Outreach Media Network. He's an avid supporter. Thank you. So, man, I want to get back to Andre a little bit. I'm going to get to some of these comments. So, we've got Dad Vice TV watching. Andre, if you're not a subscriber yet, find Dad Vice TV on YouTube.
Okay.
Jim Fabian, I think is his name. He's a great guy who is a kidney warrior himself. He's currently a kidney disease patient, and he shares so much on YouTube, and he's a great, just a great wealth of knowledge and research, and we respect him. And so if you haven't already subscribed, go to Dad Vice TV and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But yeah, he's great. Thanks for watching, James. So Andre, living in North Carolina, all right, Henderson. How did you become a New York Giants fan? How did that all happen? Did you live in New Jersey?
Well, look, I was born in Farmville, Virginia, but raised. Well, we moved to New Jersey when I was a baby in arms. So, I was raised in New Jersey. So, being in the Boy Scouts and going to New York Giants games, and, we stayed at the Meadowlands, so I just became a New York Giants fan, so, hey, that's what I live and breathe right now.
Okay. All right.
New York,
Nice.
Nice.
All
Whether
right.
win or lose. Come on,
Yeah,
now. I gotta put that in. Whether win or lose,
right.
I'm gonna do the Giants.
Die-hard fans. I love that. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man, I miss sports. I'm so glad that
Oh yeah.
I do. With everything that's going on, it's difficult for me as a sports fan not to have sports as much as we used to have it spoon-fed to us. So I'm anxious to have something on TV that they have been doing MMA recently, but they check their temperature, and they do all these precautions, but MMA is going on, so it's good to have some sports. I want to thank Tanya Jones again for commenting. She says, it blesses my soul when a total stranger gives a kidney to someone so unselfish. Yeah. It is. There's very few things that can match up in regards to giving the gift of life, so to speak, because it literally does give someone life again. It's a rebirth, so to speak. Yeah. So that's awesome. And my twin brother, he and I, again, I meant this when I said that about faith, because even my twin brother believes this, Andre, is that, when you mix in or combine faith with prayer, you add the action, and actually the equation gives you results, and so I firmly believe that. I do, yeah. So, with being a Giants fan, what are some of your favorite New York Giants players of all time? I mean, you're probably going to say Lawrence Taylor, but who else?
Well, look, Rice was, a good one, and then they traded him. But
right.
Yeah, that was, became to be my son's number.
Really?
And number 80, yes.
Okay.
So, then they traded him. That was the man right there, Beckman, he was all right, Beckman when he was on there, yeah, but they traded him too, So, so all of the ones I did like, they traded them, But hey, I'm still sticking with my boys though, man.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing about it is that the Giants at least beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowls, and so you've beaten. The Giants have beaten the Patriots, and it can be said that the Giants had less talent, so to speak, versus the Patriots, and they were able to beat them.
Right.
Great Super Bowl games, really. But man, growing up, I loved to watch Lawrence Taylor, LT, and also, I did like, watching. I still, right now, like to watch Saquon Barkley. Right now, man, he reminds me so much of Barry Sanders. When he plays, the way he chews. He's very fun to watch. So, you got to hang your hat on that, even though that you don't have Odell Beckham Jr. anymore. You got Barkley. Saquon Barkley's fun to watch. He's quick. He'll break your ankles, right?
True indeed. Yeah, he'll take you.
That's right. He is. Have you ever been to? Have you ever been to what is it? East Rutherford, or where they play MetLife?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, been there many a times.
Really? All right. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yes, many a times. Yeah. When I used to live up in New Jersey, it's like we stayed going to games. We stayed going to games. So I've been to plenty of New York Giants games. So. Oh yeah.
Andre, I'm a little disappointed in you right here. I'm a little disappointed, Andre, because
Come on, Steve.
You were talking about the Giants, which is like, Jared said they beat the Patriots, so nothing but love to the Giants. But you failed to mention the one name that in my neck of the woods is just, and that's Manning. I didn't hear you say Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
And
Okay.
it makes me sad because
well, hey, you
his
gotta
brother.
give that man credit right there. You know,
Yeah.
You have to.
he put up a good fight. He put up
He
a good
did.
fight.
He
He
did.
did. You know,
For
so
sure.
hey, he hung in there. He hung
That's
in
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, Peyton, when he comes to Knoxville, it's like the president's here or the
Uh-huh.
Pope. I mean,
Really?
the place shuts down. I mean, it's Peyton Manning because, see, I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, here we go. He's going to talk about the Mannings. And, he didn't.
It didn't come to that. All right.
And, also, if I may, speaking of football, I'm a Titans fan. And obviously a University of Tennessee Volunteers fan.
Right. Okay.
There's a former Vol and a former Titan, actually, who has been diagnosed with kidney disease recently.
Really?
And
Okay.
he is direly searching for a kidney. He was a little controversial in the NFL. It was Albert Hainsworth.
Albert
I don't know if you
Hainsworth,
guys, I don't know if you guys remember his name.
I remember he stepped on.
Yeah, the guy's head helmet. I believe it
Helmet.
was.
Yeah.
But he still deserves a kidney. And
He does, absolutely.
That's what I tell people. And there was an article about him recently that talked about how he needs a kidney. And it just kind of reminded me when he was diagnosed. I mean, he's this big, strong human being. I mean, just a really, really tough guy. But the disease doesn't care, The disease doesn't care who you are.
No.
It's one of those things that, unfortunately there's no cure to. But I tell you what, when you're as strong of a fighter as you are, Andre, I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to absolutely defeat this. And I cannot wait for the day when you come on and say that you've found your donor.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Amen to that. We can move mountains with faith. Amen.
Right. And I was at a point where I had honestly given up. It was July 4th actually. I had come home. We were foster parents at the time, and I went into the bedroom and just fell to my knees and just said, "You know what, God, you've forgotten me. I don't know why you've forgotten me. Clearly, I have no reason to be on this earth. There's no purpose," and things like that. And then 2 days later, my wife told me she was a match. And it really taught me that, our timing and God's timing are rarely the same. But don't let that be a detractor. Like, keep going, because know that God's got you. He's watching over you. And it's going to happen for you when it's supposed to happen and how it's supposed to happen. And I just think you're an incredible inspiration to that because your positivity is so amazing being 8 years into this. You inspire me.
It is inspiring. It is.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Have to be patient, just have to be patient. Like you said, it's not our time, it's in God's time. So, everything, it's all in his hands, So, that's one thing how I look at it too. And that's what uplifts me as well. I know God's got this. God's got this,
Y'all were talking about finding a donor on Facebook. That's kind of how I found my donor, was through a plea on Facebook. And I think my wife just finally was like, you know what? Okay. Like I do everything else for you. I'll step in and I'll help take care of it. I got you. Don't worry. No, I'm just kidding. But it's her being, and I'm sure she's still watching. So sorry, sweetie. But no, like when the moment that happened, and my wife was able to catch the moment when she was telling me that she was a match on camera. And all I'll say about it is I pretty much bawled my eyes out for quite a while. And people asked me, like, what were the tears for? And I said, well, it was a mixture. It was a combination of happiness, anger, relief, because I had fought for, at that point, 15 years. And you start to think, well, this is who I'm always going to be. I'm always going to be this patient. I'm always going to be known as the sick guy. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, God's like, release of emotions. And I pray so hard for that moment when it comes for you.
Amen.
I know that you are going to be so grateful and so excited. And I cannot wait.
It's going to happen, Andre. It's going to happen.
I believe it.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do have to be patient, but but if you believe in it and you strongly believe in it and you're doing things, which is part of that action, and that way your faith is not, is not dead. You're doing something. If you continue to do something, man, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I really firmly believe that. I do.
Yes, thank you so much, and I do believe it.
Hey, thanks for watching, Lamonte Reed. Thank you. He's a great follower of Urban Health Outreach Media Network. Thanks for watching. And then we've got the, I think that's the Praise God.
Yeah.
So, man, I want to continue to try to talk to you a little bit more about how this has made things different for you, Andre, during COVID-19. Maybe Steve could also give his feedback, but how has this been difficult, or how has this changed the way you do things with COVID-19 and being on on dialysis and being a kidney warrior?
Well, when everything first started, it's like, you had the complete quarantine thing,
Yeah.
just basically stay home, don't go anywhere. So the only place that I went was to the doctors, to work.
Came back
to work, and that's it,
Yeah.
And the thing with that is, even going to work, I worked at a hospital, so I had to be extra careful, being masked up, gloved up, so I had to protect myself to a further extent than I would just if I was just out in public with a mask on, and keeping my socially distanced from people, things like that. But going to work, I had to be extra careful, especially working security in the emergency room.
All right. Wow. So what is it that you do then, with your job? Would you share that with us? Can you share that with us?
I am a security officer. I used to work for the Department of Corrections before I had got injured, and then I had to stop that. And then like I said, I went back to work and working as a security officer. And I landed a job at the Granville Hospital, which is in Oxford, North Carolina.
All right.
Doing security. And like I said, I basically monitor the emergency room traffic coming and going.
Okay.
And you see some things coming and going from the emergency room.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine.
Especially with the everything that's going on right now. But you just got to be extra careful. Especially myself being in my condition. I try my best to keep my distance from people, even if I was having to interact with anyone. I try my best to keep that distance away from them.
Amen. Yeah, you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, so we do have like a desk and a barrier in between us. So most of the time I'll stay on this side of it.
All right.
Unless I have to go and do something, but
okay.
That didn't happen too often, but
Man, I feel you. I do, man. I have empathy for you because even Lisa Baxter, she was sharing online that she recently was in a public place, and there was somebody who came in, forgetting what kind of public place it was. It doesn't really necessarily matter, but Lisa Baxter was sharing that she was in this public place and the person didn't have a mask on, and so she immediately felt obviously anxiety, and apprehension, and she's a transplant recipient, and she expressed herself that she's immunocompromised and that she would, and then she can't be, standing or be near this person. And this person would, as far as I understand it, continued not to wear a mask and continued to be in this public place. Man, so I can only imagine how difficult it may be when you're in and around any public place where, if you get near somebody who's not being careful, it must be frustrating. It must be.
Yes, it does.
Must be frustrating.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes, it does. Well, you see a lot of that out in public now.
Right. Yes.
A lot of people they don't practice the social distancing.
Yeah.
I mean, even though just about everywhere you go now, they have the marks on the floor. Look, stay this far apart from each other. But
right.
Yet there are still people that'll come and they'll stand right behind you, or they'll stand right next to you, and I mean, you hate to be rude, but sometimes you have to correct people, and it's like, look, could you just step back a little bit, please? It could, because if you try to move away from them, they're just going to move that much closer to you.
Uh-huh.
So
Right. Yep.
you just have to verbally say, look, could you step back, please?
Yeah.
You have to.
Got to speak your mind. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you do when you're in public? Do you, are you careful, and are you selective in regards to where you go? And obviously you probably are very careful as well.
Yeah, really the only places that I go, if I have to go to the grocery store, I have my mask. If Heather and I just need to get out of the house and we want to go on a little date, some of the restaurants around here are doing a really great job of the social distancing and taking the precautions very seriously. And then other places, church. And our church has done a phenomenal job with, because you have to register to let them know you're coming, because they can only let a certain amount of people in.
Right.
And they have to close the balcony. But our pastor is actually our neighbor. He lives right down the street.
Oh,
and
really?
He told me, it's good having him right down the road there. He allows Heather and I to sit in the balcony by ourselves, just to take extra precaution, being immunocompromised. And it's, like Andre was saying, it's a little frustrating, because even an hour before the show tonight, I saw in my local news that Knox County here in Tennessee is going to mandate that you have to wear a mask if you go inside a business or in a public area. And I was like, okay. All right, that makes me feel a little better. So, I made a comment like, well, that's really awesome. I'm immunocompromised. I think this would be a really good thing for people like me. And I was getting some not so nice messages because of that. And people saying, well, I don't know why you think the world revolves around you. Why don't you just stay home if you had a transplant and things like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, guys, is it really that hard to grasp that it's just about caring about your neighbor? It's about caring about the stranger that you don't know. You don't want them to get it. And I was just, unfortunately, in a bad way, I was blown away by the responses that I see with that there's people that get angry at me when I talk about being immunocompromised. And so the 6 feet means something to me. The mask means something to me.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I'll never understand that.
I don't understand it either. I don't. Because I get it, okay, that for some people, like maybe they have asthma and it's difficult for them to breathe with the mask on. To a certain point, I can try to understand that. But it is porous. I mean, it's a cloth generally, or something that does allow you to breathe. So I think sometimes a lot of it is just, our mentality. There's something covering my mouth, so I can't breathe well. But most of them are designed so that you still breathe. So I think a lot of it is just our mindset that we can't breathe well. Again, I don't have asthma, so I can't say that's the case totally, but it can't, I just think that sometimes it's very selfish to say I'm not going to wear a mask. And I get it, that people have rights and you can't make them. unless it's mandated by law, or that the county or the governor or the mayor or somebody does it, then maybe they can mandate it. But obviously I feel differently because my sister-in-law, my twin brother's wife, is a kidney transplant recipient, and she's immunocompromised. And then I interview kidney warriors every week, and so I'm very sensitive, to my kidney warrior brothers and sisters. And so I go out in public, I'm wearing a mask, I'm very mindful of that because, oh my gosh, God forbid I become asymptomatic, but what if I am carrying it, but I don't have symptoms? You never quite know, and you got to be careful. And so I'd rather have a mask on to protect people who may be in my vicinity when I'm walking by. It just, to me, is just love for your fellow man, for your fellow human being. If you do that, but again, I know I'm going to get off my soapbox because I know that some people are going to say, well, what about my rights? And you can't make me. And there are all sorts of things that people say and do, but we're just talking about a mask. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, mandating that you have to wear a uniform, or that you have to, I'm not. I think sometimes we're taking this a little bit too far. It's not like it's communism, okay? When they're not like totally like giving us all these strict things that we have to do. We're talking about trying to slow down a virus, okay? Right. It's about slowing it down because we don't have a vaccine, and it's about protecting people who are vulnerable, sensitive to this virus. All right, I'm going to breathe now. I laid it down.
There you go.
Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the information on here. All right, so Andre, no surprise, is looking for a living kidney donor. So make some noise, okay? Let's please get this information out there. Absolutely. All right. Let's make sure that everybody knows that Big Dre, all right, is. Yeah, you thought I didn't know that, huh?
Wow, yeah, no, I heard him like, I didn't tell him that.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta make sure that people get the word out for Big Dre here that he needs a kidney donor. All right, so we've got the transplant hospital information, the phone number, and then we've got the link. Okay, the link is clickable in the comment section. It's dukehealth.org/treatments/transplant-program/kidney-donation. So please don't be stingy. Share this. Sharing is caring, and we care about Andre. Lay it down and share.
Absolutely.
That's right. So, how did you get the nickname Big Dre?
Well, I used to actually weigh close to 500 pounds.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna share one of those pictures with you. All right. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And I have a before and an after picture. So.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, I used to weigh close to 500 pounds. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
Man, we should be calling you Big Slim right now, then, man. Man, Tanya Jones is saying that she lost somebody to COVID. Man, I'm sorry about that, Tanya.
Sorry to hear that. Yes.
Yeah, I am too. And it says if Slipknot can wear a mask for 2 hours on stage, you can wear one to Target. Amen to that. We're not talking about a long time. Yeah. Man, that's incredible. That's a story all on its own, man. I wish I would have known a little bit about that. We could have spent a whole lot more time on your. That takes discipline. That takes discipline.
Yeah.
So how did you do that? Did you stick to a?
Yeah, that was a tough journey in itself.
Yeah,
that was a tough journey.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow.
Yeah, just just to be careful with what I'm eating, So,
Wow. I'm impressed. That's quite a feat. Yeah.
oh yeah.
All right. So we're coming to the end of this, but I just wanted to say